One of the biggest issues that business owners have is cash flow, and they commonly come to me and go, I'm making profit, but I don't know where my cash is. On today's video, I try and help with that. Hello everyone, my name is Ethan Rooshock and welcome to another episode of What Does an Accountant Do? Today's episode will be focused on two main areas, budgeting and cash flows. So I think these are some of the most important things to get right in business, and when you get these right, I think it really takes a lot of stress away from your business and can really allow a lot of growth. Cash flow is key in business. It is so important, and budgets tie in with cash flow. So by getting these two things right, it really works well together to get that growth and get that stress-free life you're looking for in your business. So the first one I want to talk about is cash flow. So you've probably heard it before, but cash is king. You need to have cash to run a business no matter what. So many businesses struggle with this. Like I just said before, so many people are actually making a profit, but then they look in their bank account, they've got no money. They don't know where the money's gone. And this is a cash flow issue. So if you're having issues where you've got no money in your account, but you know you are making profit, this is where you need help with your cash flow because that's where the issue is. So the reasons for this, it could be you've got lots of loan repayment, so they're not reflected on a profit and loss report. Or you're taking a lot of money out personally with, say, an owner's drawing. So again, you're taking money out of the business that isn't showing up on your profit and loss. So it can show that you're making a profit, but you're actually reducing, say, your balance sheet items, and therefore this is reducing the cash you've got on hand, and therefore when it comes to paying bills, you've got no cash left. So you may have other commitments that are draining cash flow, but it could be, say, a capital item that you've purchased out of cash flow, and therefore when it comes to paying for regular expenses, you haven't got the cash there, and it's not showing on that profit and loss because it may be being depreciated, etc. So the main thing is you're pretty much drawing out money that's not an expense, but it's reducing your bank balances. But the good thing with cash flow, it's really easy to get right with a bit of planning. It's not like budgeting where you're not sure what's coming in and stuff like that. Cash flow is more about planning about the known stuff and kind of working out what impact that will have on your bank account. Because then you can make decisions about whether you buy that capital asset out of cash, for instance, or take out a loan, or whether you're taking too much money out personally. So I actually just use a basic Excel spreadsheet for it. So I pretty much have all my cash coming in, what cash will be going out, and I plan that out for the next normally about 3-month period. So I can see if there's going to be a dip in cash flow, or is it ever going to go below a zero balance, or if you've got an overdraft, breach your overdraft limit. It's really easy to see a visual of what's coming in, what's going out, and where that will leave me each week or each fortnight, whatever suits you. There is a lot of software now that integrates with accounting products. So Xero has a bunch of different cash flow partners that will integrate with your data in Xero, for instance. So I've used a few of these. They didn't really suit the businesses I was looking for, and therefore I've decided to go with a bit of a more basic spreadsheet method. But there are a lot of businesses these things will work for. They are getting better and better over time. So it can automate some of those cash flow projections, so you've got a really good visual without putting a lot of extra work into it. But I really think understanding cash flow is understanding your business. So it's really important to get your head around the cash flow issues your business may face and do some projections on this, no matter how big or small your business is. If you need help with this, make sure you're speaking to an accountant about it, because a good accountant will talk to you about cash flow and explain the difference between cash flow and budget and just general business and help you understand where your cash is going. It's one of the areas I really love helping people with, because it is something that confuses people initially, because there's so many people, like I said, that are thinking they're making profit but then going, where's my cash? So I really love helping people in this area because I think it's really important and one of the most vital things in business when it comes to money. Now before I get into the budgeting side of this, make sure you drop a like on the video, and if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos about what accountants do, some tax tips, and just some general personal finance content in general. Anyway, let's get back into the video. All right, the next area I want to talk about is budgeting. So I think budgeting, again, ties in really well with cash flow, but it's just looked at from a little bit of a different point of view. So you can look at short-term or long-term budgeting. I prefer actually a bit more of a longer term. I prefer my cash flow stuff to kind of handle the short term, and I prefer my budgeting to be a bit more long-term, but broken down into some short-term figures as well. So I'll explain that here. So pretty much what I'm saying is I like to do, say, a 12-month budget. I think 12 months is really good because that gets all your seasonal highs and lows in it. And then what you can do is you could break that down and say you've got a budget sales figure that you want to hit over that 12 months and you're in retail. You could break that down into a daily figure and work out, okay, how many sales do I need to make each day to hit the budget that I'm aiming for? So when I make a budget, I actually like to start with, say, a bit of a break-even budget. So work out what all my fixed costs will be, then work out my variable costs and my gross profit margins, etc. And work out, okay, how many sales do I need each day to open the door? And it gets you a really good starting point of working out, is the business viable, or if you're already in business, is it actually making us money, or is it just impossible for us to even make a profit? The key thing with a budget though, there's no point starting a budget and then never looking at it again. That's pointless. You've got to review it at some stage. Now you may just review this every 12 months when you start a new budget and use last year's figures to help. But I think reviewing it at a regular interval, it might be every 3 months or it might even be every month, depends what type of industry you're in. It's really important just to see how you're tracking along. It's not to go, oh, I can't spend because it wasn't in my budget, but just understanding, okay, if I spend extra in an area that I didn't budget for, how many extra sales will I have to cover that extra expense? Or if I'm cutting back on expenses, okay, what impact does that have on profit, for instance? So like I said, it's going to depend on what industry as to how regular you need to do this, and also probably depends on the size of your business. Really big businesses are probably analysing their budgets a lot more regularly than a small business, purely because they've got the people and time to do it. But it's still important in a small business to analyse it on a regular basis. That's probably key. Keep it irregular, whether it's monthly or 3 monthly, just keep it regular. When setting a budget, I find budgeting for sales is difficult because you don't know what's going to come through the door in most industries. Budgeting for expenses though should be easy. You should understand pretty much what fixed costs you're going to have. So if you can get that right, like I said, it gives you a really good idea to know how much profit margin you're going to need or how many sales you're going to need to cover those expenses plus your desired level of profit. The other great time to do a budget is when you're looking at doing some major change in your business. So you may be looking at employing someone new or buying a capital item that may increase the size of your business, for instance. You can do a budget here to see what the impact is on that one purchase. And like I talked about with cashflow software, there's a lot of budgeting software out there as well where you can do different scenarios and see the impact of that. So you can automate a lot of this and do a lot of the hard manual work through automated software now. So overall, these are a bit more advisory areas that accountants can cover. So it's not just your general compliance of tax returns and financial statements. There's a lot of other things accountants can help you with. So make sure you're talking to your accountant about this, because if they're not interested in this stuff, they might not be the right accountant for you. Compliance is just dealing with those things from the ATO, for instance, in Australia that you have to do. Advisory is where you can really grow your business or fix a hole that it may be in. So make sure you're talking to someone about it or doing your own research into it. Look what software is available to automate some of this for you, and really use these tools to grow your business rather than be a burden on it. Now, I want to be doing more videos about this, so if there's any topic that you want me to cover, let me know down below. And make sure you check out some of the other videos in this series and some of the other tax videos that I've got on my channel. And I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.